Why would I get it? Because I've always been no money. I cook. Hello, everyone. Hope you're hang on. Hope you're all doing well. What happened? There were 4 of us. Now there's 3 of us. Gee, it's shrinking by the minute. No, 2. Sorry about that. Maybe I should say good night. All right. So what's going on? And who's up here? Say hello and let me know who you are. Stephen is here. Hi, Mehran. He says hello, Stephen. Thank you very much, Stephen. Male 43, Los Angeles. Thank you so much for that. So who are the other 2 that are watching, or are the 3, but they're shy to say who they are? You know, we have a punishment for the ones who don't introduce themselves, you know? Stephen says, I wanted to share something with you. It won't be sad, I promise. All right, then, go for it. Go for it. Share away. Guys, this is such a good tea. Very good, amazing. It's a jasmine tea. It's a loose jasmine tea. I bought it from Whole Foods. And it comes in a can. It's got a little wooden spoon to, portion it into your tea bag. And I have a tea bag, unbleached, natural thingy tea bag, paper, not plastic. So I put it in there and dump it in here, put a hot water on it, let it sit. And these Yeti cups, Jesus, it keeps it, I don't know, 7-8 hours hot if I, don't open the lid, like keep it closed. It's wunderbar. There are 5 of us here now. We're growing by the minute. Exciting, very exciting. We're supposed to have 5,000 people here watching. Shame on me to have such qualities that nobody really cares to use. Isn't that true? Well, listen, I've done my work. There are 3,000 videos on the channel. I guess everybody can go and use them. And when we put a live stream, they don't show up, apparently, just because maybe they get what they want from the videos. Yet, they comment that, could you answer this? Could you answer that? Well, listen, these live streams are for that. Otherwise, you go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and make an appointment. And then we'll have a one-on-one discussion on Skype. Or show up at the live streams and ask your questions, and I'll be more than happy to respond. No charge, usually. So here Stephen says, you know how you mentioned that we are all energy? When my dad passed away, a lot of electrical things broke in the house. Ooh, light bulbs blew out. And the day after, his TV, he always watched, just died and stopped working. I searched online and other people have experienced the same. Well, I am not surprised because I too believe that there is something going on, and we do get visits from what's beyond. One of the interesting things that happened to me that I haven't been able to explain, when I enter to my apartment, there is a little foyer, small foyer. To the right of it enters a kitchen, and to the little bit further to the left is a bathroom. Then front is my bedroom, and then diagonally is my living room and where I'm sitting, which is my, I don't know, I guess dining room, so to speak. It's a small apartment. However, what's interesting is this, that this light on the foyer, I usually leave it on. And about, I don't know, a month, 2 months, a month and a half ago, as I was doing what I was doing, burnt out. Just no light. Okay, I said. And then I said, well, eventually I get around to it. I've got lots of light bulbs. I bought lots of light bulbs when Candace, what is it, incandescent, the old light bulb style was going out and these helium stuff was coming in. I didn't like it. So I bought lots of those old ones. And I said, okay, I'll change it. About a week or so passed and I forgot, like I never got around to it. And maybe a week or two. And then I was sitting, boom, it came back on. I can't explain it, because if it was because I've been using it a lot, so it burnt, it's understandable. If there was some electrical trouble or disconnect, it's understandable, it went. But whatever caused it to go out means a malfunction or the light bulb burned or something, yeah? There was a reason for it. That reason was not manipulated, was not touched, was not changed, was not fixed by me or anybody else. How did it come back on? It's a question. So, yeah, I think perhaps some good presence was giving me a signal, possibly, that I'm here, or I got your back, or something good, because that was a good thing. So Lydia says, oh my goodness, where have you been? Are you still in, what, Brazil was it? And says, hi, Miran. Lydia from, there you go, Brazil, 34. Thank you for that. It's been a while. Where have you been? Got a question, Lydia says. Okay, fire up. Fire away. And Lydia says, I have been alone for the last 2 years. But sometimes I get these thoughts of, at least 2 years ago, you were not lonely like now. Oh, that's not a good comparison, because let me read the rest of it. So how to deal with this loneliness thoughts? Okay. It's not a good comparison because 2 years ago, for whatever reason, whether you or the guy or however it worked, it didn't work out. And there were reasons for that, it did not work out. And you have forgotten the reasons that why it didn't work out. Therefore, now that the pain of why it wasn't working out, pain of whatever it was that was going through is no longer there, meaning you don't remember that pain, because we human beings are designed to forget the pain. So now that the pain has been forgotten and only you remember the fact that you were with someone and you were not alone, and not thinking about that the pain was there too, but you just don't remember the pain now. And then you're saying, commenting that at least I wasn't lonely. What do you mean at least you weren't lonely? You didn't want that relationship, or that relationship, the other guy didn't want it, or somehow it broke, which means there was a reason. You forgot that reason. And now you're comparing something that wasn't good, but just because you don't remember why it wasn't good, you're comparing it as something tolerable versus now that you don't have a companion. But you got to focus on what you have. You don't have a companion, okay, but what do you have? You've got lots of things that you don't have to put up with anymore. Whatever was wrong in that relationship, you don't have that anymore. Whatever was bothering you now and then, you don't have that anymore. All the freedom that you wanted to have, you have it now. All the things that you wanted to do on your own, you have the freedom to do that. You don't answer to anybody. You don't offend anybody. You don't get offended. All the things that creates that tranquility and solace in your soul and gives you that taste of life without having to be feeling guilty or feeling obligated or feeling responsible for something, or somebody expecting you to be something and somewhere that you don't want to be at the moment, or you prefer to do something else. None of that are there. Yes, the romantic episodes of a relationship is great, but it's now and then far in between. And none of that in the hindsight, when you get older, now maybe you just don't care about how independent you can be, and you want that companionship. And I understand that. Even at this age, I would want that. But you get to come to understanding of what is it that's got the priority in your life. Would you be willing to be in a relationship that doesn't work or has lots of challenges one way or another, and you go up and down and concern and not concern and solve things and talk it over and talk it for hours, and these things can go on back and forth because two consciousnesses are not compatible, not always, and until they become compatible, there are lots of ups and downs, and maybe they'll never become compatible. And so you prefer to have that, or that comfort, that confidence, that freedom, that choice, and whatever it is that you're seeking in a relationship, part of it, or one big part of it, would be to have that calmness, relaxation, a certain kind of a certainty, a certain kind of comfort. But if that's not happening in a relationship, it's a nice gesture, it's nice feelings, a nice hope. But in most cases, it doesn't happen because there would be conflicts and division between the two consciousnesses. And that is normal, but it's part of the relationship. And if you can't take that and affects you in a negative way, even though it's normal in a relationship, then what's the best alternative? To actually have that freedom that allows you to enjoy life in so many different tangents of it. And then when you choose, and when you actually feel it's right time for you, or at least for a certain period of time, then you enter into a relationship. Now your question is not about that you want that relationship. You can't say, at least I wasn't lonely, so that means you're willing to put up with that kind of relationship. Don't ever switch or sell your psychological security and freedom to something that wasn't working. You might want to have a relationship now, fine, more power to you, go find it. And if it shows it to present itself, take charge of it. But don't tell me that when you were thinking about that, you're regretting or wishing that relationship. Not that relationship, maybe a relationship, but don't think back as if that was something that you should have tolerated, regardless of how terrible it was. And now you're saying, oh, maybe I should have tolerated. No. And remember, at the time we make a decision, that decision is correct. With the information available to you and the reasons that you have at the moment, at the time that one makes a decision, in his mind, that decision is correct. So your decision was correct given the circumstances that you were going through then. Now you can't go back and not remembering what the shit you were in and then say, oh, at least, you know, I could have tolerated, or I was not lonely, so maybe I should have that back. No. Maybe you go for another relationship and open your eyes and find something decent now, different one, but don't, what is the word? Don't wish for that which was not working. That's what I'm just saying. Okay, it says, I'm in Spain on vacation. Ah, okay. Sounds good. So tell me, does that answer your question? You know, many of you want to be in a relationship because you're looking for certainty. You're looking for a conclusion of your search. So you're willing to find and get into any relationship because you would find that's a conclusion for my search. I've been searching for a relationship. Now I found someone that I'm going to convince myself that he or she is the right one, you say. And then for you, that would be the end of search, because nobody wants to search forever. Everybody wants to get the search to some point and then end the search. And in order to end the search, get a conclusion, because you think a relationship brings certainty to you and structure to your life, which is complete bullshit. It's not always there, possibly, maybe sometimes for a certain period of time, but not necessarily. And because you think the certainty is in a relationship, so you want to give it a conclusion for your search. Don't think that by being in a relationship, you create a certainty. The certainty doesn't exist in life. So you need to become an expert to live in uncertainty, which you're an expert already, because all your life you've lived through a journey that nothing about it was certain, nothing about it you knew that it was going to happen, and yet it happened, and you think that you can't handle certainty. Nothing has been certain in your life since you were born, but you were master of handling it, managing it. So don't wish to bring certainty into your life by entering into a relationship, thinking that the relationship is a sort of source of certainty, and the fact that by getting into a relationship, you will be ending the search for that relationship, which leads you to a conclusion. And that is the pie in the sky that you're following. There is no conclusion. Don't look for a conclusion. Take the journey and don't try to stop your search. The search continues whether you want it or not. And whether it continues or not, it doesn't mean you have arrived to success or not, because you haven't found a relationship. You haven't ended your search. None of that. If you have to search, you search. As long as it takes, you continue. If you find something valuable, then the search ends for that period that relationship lasts and looks, amicable. So learn to live in an uncertainty. Don't think relationship is the source of certainty, and don't think you have to end this search as soon as you can, which means bringing a conclusion to search and thinking that conclusion brings you stability or fortune or happiness or psychological security or certainty. All right. Lydia says, yes, I think I need to be okay with this period of life in which I have no partner. Sometimes it's difficult. Yeah, it is. I understand that. It's difficult because we are made out of mind and body, and each one of them have their own rules. You may be happy with the way you think and the way you negotiate life, but then your body has a certain need as well. And that is the emotional engagement, the emotional sensations and intimacy, and all the things that we all know what our physical body is looking for in terms of um, intimacy and romance and sharing feelings and receiving love and being able to give love. And these are important both mentally and physically, but you can satisfy these mental satisfactions through activities and accomplishments and the research or the projects that you're trying to accomplish in life. And you bring that excitement and that emotional high and that dopamine to you. But then again, you still need that physical touch and physical connection and that intimacy. But for that department, you got to be a little bit more careful, more selective, in order to have that more enjoyable than less enjoyable and lasting longer than being for a short pleasurable reasons rather than with more substance and continuity. So for that you need to be a little bit more selective and um, see the compatibility level and standards and your values are compatible or not, and so forth, so forth. All right. All right, I'm going to take a break until you guys come up with a question because there's no lecture tonight. And for God's sake, I don't know why we have only 4 people here. I mean, don't you bloody think that this is a good channel with lots of good quality discussions? And we should have 4,000 people here. I really think YouTube doesn't like me that much. I don't know why, though. Because even if you consider the fact that I have 28,000 subscribers, even though it's not much, given the fact that I've been doing this for 13 years, even if it's not much, but out of 28,000, 4 people have been notified or chose to join. It means they have not enough of people, my subscribers, are being notified whenever I go live. And that, I think, it's either a glitch or a purpose behavior by, I don't know, whoever, YouTube or whatever. Steven says, I remember Saturday around noon, you had a lot more people in the chat. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Maybe we'll try to do that. Maybe I got to fix my sleeping time. So I sleep early, get up early, and then Saturdays I can have 1 noon or 1 o'clock and then see how that goes. We can try. Maybe you can bring that back up. But, 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock Saturday, it's good on the West Coast. East Coast is just, 4 or 5 o'clock, 3, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. In Europe is about 8, 9, 10 o'clock. India is 12 midnight. So, and Middle Eastern countries, pretty much the same, 11, 12 midnight. So we'll hit all time zones. Maybe I'll try that and see what happens. Maybe I should have it just at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock every time I want to have it and see how that goes. Okay, we'll try that. Let's see. Because honestly, I may be biased, but I'm unanimous on this. I don't think there's any channel that talks about these sort of things the way that we have discussions here. And the videos that we have, I don't believe, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know, maybe, whatever. Anyhow, I've done my job. By the way, I'm having a new site being built by a gentleman from Pakistan. and he's working on that. And at the same time, guys, remember now he's moving my 3,000 videos, or 3,000 almost number of videos on YouTube. He's also moving them into Rumble. So in Rumble, though, we will have two channels: one for breakups and so on, and emotional hardship and so on, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego. And then we have another channel which is only exclusively deals with OCD, intrusive thoughts, HOCD, and whatnot. So we'll have separated these two topics on Rumble. So if you wanted to check, it's the same name, is it? No, I don't think so. But if you guys wanted to check on Rumble, it's not all completed. It's being transferred. It takes a while. So, and also he's building a new site, maybe more user-friendly or simpler, maybe with the SEOs and proper ways of being presented, so it will show up on search, so we can increase, our ability to reach more people and help more people. And at the same time, we will get, populated the channel a little bit more in that way. So, and Steven says, I also think people use this channel temporary. Yeah, it's true, because once the problem's gone away, they don't need it, they don't need to stick around. It says, but with almost 30,000 subscribers, there should be more than 4 people. I agree with you 100%. So there's some wrong. I don't know what. That's all right. Honestly, best channel of its kind on YouTube. And then I know there are other channels that really can't measure up, but they've got hundreds, 800, 200, 500 in their live streams. I don't know. I haven't seen any of them, but I bet you they get a lot more. Maybe their SEO is better. Maybe my tags are not good. I have no idea, but at least I've got that many subscribers. And when I go live, they should all know and then choose to join or not. But I don't think they all get to know. I think the system does not inform them efficiently. All right. Guys, if you guys have no more question, I'm sure you don't, because you already have asked your questions. And if we don't have anyone in about next 5 minutes, I think maybe then I'll just go watch a movie or continue playing my chess. So I'm playing chess with someone, and it's like whenever he or she gets around to it, makes a move, and whenever I get around to it, make a move. It's like it's no time for it, just whenever. And that's pretty pleasant. How about if I give you guys a minute break, and then we'll see if anybody joins us or has a question, then we'll check it out. Just take a break with this. There we go.
The last part was just total bullshit. I just made it up. But the idea of being here just for a moment, just gonna forget our shit. And it's just good. Are you taping me?
So Lydia says, oh no, Stephen says, I wish I had something to ask. This would be the perfect time. Lydia says, do you believe it's harder for women to find good men now? I see it's such a trend now to say that. But I believe it might not be true. And it's just that men don't complain that much about it like women do on social media. No, we complain a lot too, but we don't complain where women can hear it. We don't complain online. Among friends, we just say, there's no babe around, or there's no possibilities, or there's not enough inventory, or there's not enough women to have things in common with, or there's not good quality of women around that would meet our expectations and whatnot. But in regards to your first part of your question, that do you believe that it's harder for women to find good men? I think it is. Well, I think it's the same. Hard for women to find good men and hard for men to find good women. Why is this? And that's not your fault. That's not women's fault. It's mostly our fault. You see, and I'm not talking personally about me or some specific person, but in general, this is what men usually are looking for. And this is the trap. This is what the pothole they fall into, and affects your chances of finding good men as well. One reason, but two, a problem for both. And that is this. You have a hard time finding good men because men are generally looking for a chance to be intimate with a woman. That's the primary goal. And because of that, they open the gates of their hearts, or seemingly their interest, not necessarily that they're devious or they know about it. They actually think they like that girl, or they love that girl, or they want to have a relationship with that girl, all because she meets their sexual expectations, or the expectations they have in the girl that they wish her to be their girlfriend. And because their motivation is sexually oriented, it's based on the sexuality. The motivation is sex. Therefore, they're open to almost all girls, pretty much. And therefore, girls don't get the right guy because every guy shows interest to them. And to them, they don't know which one is good, which one is not. They're going to choose one that they like aesthetically, or maybe in behavior, if it's longer enough getting to know each other. But because there's so many, they could make a mistake and choose the one that is not really, in the long run, shows promises that they want to be in a committed relationship. But at the beginning, every guy looks like they're the right guy because they pay so much attention to you. And the attention that they show you gives you a certain kind of a hint that, oh, he likes you. And that's one of the criteria that you go by. You like his aesthetics, you like maybe his manners and demeanors. And because of his attention towards you. That's another bonus. So you choose him. But there's so many of this genuine interest from the men that you think they're interested in a relationship. They may become interested in a relationship further down the road, but at the beginning you can't tell, and you will choose one that is making you paying so much attention to and meets some of your standards, and then yet they later on themselves, who didn't know that it's only a sexual interest, would eventually wean off of that interest because it never was based on choosing the right girl for themselves in all tangents of it, but choosing the right mate for themselves was mostly in their mind. And with the same token, they are robbing themselves out of finding the right girl because they don't go about experiencing or extending right standards or looking for right standards. They just look at a girl that turns them on or aesthetically is sexy. And therefore, they themselves, being so interested with the sexuality of that girl, with the prettiness of that girl, or the aesthetics of that girl, they won't give themselves a chance to find more things about her if she's qualified, if she's fitting their standards and their expectations. They just choose her because she meets certain tangents of their expectations. And that means they're cheating themselves out of the right choice, and they're causing her to choose them, which they're not the right choice for her either. So this fictitious interest, or this misleading interest, but yet genuine, because no man really is trying to, no good man is trying to take advantage of the girl. They're genuinely, I'm talking about the decent people, they're genuinely thinking that they're interested in that woman, but their interest in their mind is based on their need, not the qualification that they're expecting from the woman to have. And that misleads the woman to make the woman to think that they're genuinely interested in her, but they were genuinely interested in intimacy. So she chooses the wrong man because of that, and they choose the wrong girl because of that. So that's the story I wanted to tell. How well I did, I don't know. So tell me, guys, does that make sense to you? And Steven says, nice, Miran. I didn't know you play guitar. I did that one time. I haven't played for a long, long time. There's so many things happening that you don't even, I wish I could, practice more and, learn more. I was not bad at one time, but it's been a long time ago. I started playing when I was in 6th grade in elementary school, or 5th grade, 6th grade. And Steven says, actually, I do have something on my mind. Okay, good. Let's hear it. Says, when I think of how nice I was to that girl and what she did to me and the poor character she had, it gets me angry in a way that I wish I could have put her in her place, but instead I remained nice. It just comes to my mind at times and upsets me. I'm not that same person I was, and respect myself. Well, at the time, you were not this guy. At the time, you were a needy man looking for a warm body. Doesn't matter how she was, somebody that could replace the previous experience, which we all know you had. And that girl didn't work out, so you were trying to bring love, and your hastiness by focusing on that bullshit that you were constantly talking about, the time and all that, your age and all that garbage, made you lose your focus on what qualifications you should exercise to see if that girl, whatever the girl that may be, is actually qualified to be with you, a man like you. Instead, you think they're doing you a favor as a privilege to be with them because you were in love with your desire for pleasure, for your desire for a girlfriend. You were trying to fulfill your desire. Whatever your desire was desiring, you were trying to fulfill that rather than fulfilling your awareness about what kind of girl will serve you better and would be a more compatible choice. So at that time, you were that kind of a person with that mentality. Unless you would have gone through this exercise that you did and spent hours and hours with me, you wouldn't have become who you are today with the mentality you have, which is a healthier one, and appreciating yourself, respecting yourself. And you're no longer thinking a girl being with you is doing you a favor, or that she's a trophy that should be just put in a pedestal and you worship her. And you worshiped her not because who she was, because what your needs were. So you were putting more of an importance to satisfying your need, companionship and texting and this and that, so forth, and creating that kind of a certainty and conclusion, stopping your search, than you were focusing on if she's qualified to be your girlfriend. And at that time, you were not this person. So you cannot be upset because you weren't thinking the way you're thinking now. Then you were not the person you are now today with the wisdom and experience you have today then. So you can't expect that to have behaved or performed in the way you're talking to me right now. That's unreasonable expectations. The journey has given you that knowledge, and that's why you now understand yourself better. And good that you get mad at yourself when you think that way, but don't get mad at yourself why you didn't do what you wanted to do, what you're talking about today. Then just get mad at yourself that I will remember that I will not sell myself short, and I will respect myself because I do deserve what I am requiring. And for that, I should be focusing on the quality of that person, not the fact that she satisfies and facilitates my need. You don't want someone who's going to facilitate your need. That's not the right choice. That's not how you can choose the right girl. You want to see if she's qualified, meets your standards to facilitate your need. That comes after. Not that, oh, she can say, what is it? She can facilitate my need, therefore she's the right one. No. She's the right one first based on my qualifications, then she can facilitate my need. That's two different approach. So, having said that, and Steven says that helps a lot. I think of it this way for now. There you go. That's my boy. And Victor is here, says, thank you for all your videos, especially for breaking down why we feel the way we feel about breakup. Thank you very much for saying that and sharing that, Victor. Please let me know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from, which city, country. I appreciate that. Victor says, my ex slept with someone else after we broke up pretty quickly. Your video helped me not care and be detached from her actions and how I see myself. Now I don't give a shit. Good for you. Good for you, Victor. Now let me know a little bit about you, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I know gender, but where you're tuning in from. Stephen says, thank you, Mary. You're quite welcome, Stephen. As soon as I get Victor's little information as far as his age and where he's tuning in from, then we'll end tonight's broadcast, the podcast. It's a male 32 from New York City. Okay, the Big Apple. That's great. Steven says, there's really nobody else like you on YouTube. The majority of people don't care. I know. But the question is, why is it that they're having millions of subscribers or hundreds and hundreds of subscribers, but me, after 12, 13 years, I still have 28,000. And, just imagine if this channel would have been making the kind of views and the kind of subscribers that we were hoping, that the quality of the channel demands, and what kind of a money it would make, and therefore what kind of a time I could put on it, and how many other activities and podcasts and so on, because then I would kind of reduce my activities and my time spending on other ventures of my life and do what I love to do, which is actually this. So somehow something is broken. I don't know. Victor says, I agree with Stephen. You are changing people's lives. I appreciate that. And that is what I love to do forever and ever, especially the older I get, due to the fact that I guess I have this ability to make people see certain things that otherwise they couldn't see. And of course, the research and the things that I have tried to learn and contemplate and come up with, whether from the scholars of hundreds of years ago, from my research and studies, or from simply my own brainchild and ability to analyze and see it, whether within myself or in relation to a human psyche. We have a good channel here. It's just that we need more attention so we can reach more people and help more people. I really don't understand what is it that we don't get that exposure. So if you guys have an idea, go ahead, do it. All right, guys. I don't think if you have anything else to add. If you do, please do. Otherwise, I'll just take a short break of 1 minute and come back. If you had anything to add, we will. If not, then I'll just say good night and we'll end the night. There is just 1 minute or so.
Damn, I thought she is the one. Everything was all good. She suddenly turned as if I was no longer who I was anymore. Why did she do that? Why do I feel so devastated? How can I feel better? How can I understand what is going on in my head? How can I go on? I will never fall in love again. Ah, things finally make sense. I now understand why she did what she did, and why I feel so shitty about it all, and why I miss her so much. I now know how to not miss her, and how to move on and build a better me, more confident and more aware of the role of my thoughts, consciousness, desires, fears, and ego in my relationship, and how I feel after a breakup. I got to talk to him or watch his videos on YouTube.
It may all seem like a mystery to you right now, but you can always go to my YouTube channel where you will find over 300 videos on this subject and more. You can find out exactly why you feel the way you do and why your thoughts are the way they're reacting and the role of your psyche in all this. Plus, how to feel good again, become strong and get your confidence back and ready to move on. And more importantly, how to move on. And you will certainly be fine once you know how your mind works, dear. If you still needed to talk to me one-on-one, that's always possible through my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. There you can book a Skype consultation time for us and we can chat about what's concerning you. This is what I do with all people who need it from all around the world.
All right. Let's see. Do we have any other comments that, we gained one viewers. Okay, guys, it looks like we've answered all the questions. We had a good short chat session together. And I'll try to maybe separate, portion of this podcast, which pertain in some of the questions that one Stephen said and one Lygia said. I think there's something other people would probably want to hear as well. And I separate that as a separate video Too bad I don't have enough good lighting here to show my face better in order to kind of give it a little better resolution. But either way, the content is good. I'll do that and put it up and see if that can help other people who may want to hear what we just talked about tonight. So if there's nothing else, guys, it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. Well, we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.